OMSRL returns on Tuesday nights after their 1 week break, and they will get set to kick it off at a true wild card race here for the season. Welcome to wine country and to the Sonoma Raceway. My name is Little Ramble, bringing you all of racing action from start to finish this afternoon, where we get set to duke it out for 47 laps around this beautiful facility, just under 2 miles over here on the shores of California. You take a look at those point standings entering racing action here this afternoon. After the summer break, Spencer Ray up in front by 21 points over Sean Kaiser. So Spencer Ray, with dual poles, has definitely been one of those drivers to try to beat so far all season long, just as he was last season, but he's got a lot of competition. Sean Bounty, Austin Gassion, Sean Kaiser, all equally valid drivers that have really been looking to try to put the fight to Spencer Ray. And with this, of course, being a road course race, we could very well be seeing a big shakeup of the point standings exiting tonight's racing action on a good old Tuesday night. Of course, when it comes to road course racing, OMSRL not particularly fond of it. This is the only and pretty much obligatory road course race that they're putting in for their season. So there's never going to be a race quite like this again throughout the course of the season, and that's going to put us in for some good racing action here this afternoon. We'll take a ride on board with Justin Wilson. He's working his way through the final set of quarters now, and he'll take you for a lap around the Sonoma Raceway and show you what it's like to find yourself on a qualifying run. You really tell Justin Wilson trying to be extremely tender with that throttle pedal off of corner exits here. Just wants to put down at that time, and now we could see him really start to gun it for that quick lap. His first lap here, good enough for 23rd place, and that does put him on the qualifying sheets. But if he wants to get any higher, he is going to need a massive improvement. Right now, he sits 2.6 seconds behind the driver that's just in 22nd alone. So far, Bear Morton, the only driver that has not been able to put down a qualifying lap. He had both of his laps invalidated. There are a total of 26 that will be aiming to make the start here. Connor LaFrance is currently on provisional pole. You saw a big snap of oversteer there for Justin Wilson, and that could cost him big time in this second half of the lap as he looks to go back down the hill towards the final hairpin. But first, he's got to navigate through a quick rapid-fire switchback S's, snaking through the hillside as the Pepsi Camaro tries to get himself with a halfway decent time. He needs to improve by almost 6 seconds if he wants to get himself into the top 20 this afternoon. So Justin Wilson, definitely not one of those drivers that's going to be looking for the fast times today. His whole game here this afternoon is going to be smooth, slow is smooth, and smooth is fast. Off of the final hairpin, 10 seconds to go in qualifying, he will be able to just barely make the buzz, but he's going to smack the wall, and that will invalidate that second lap. So that's said and done. Qualifying has drawn to a close, so we will now get the chance to take a rundown and show you what your starting grid is going to look like when we go racing for 47 laps of racing action in wine country. Starting on pole position this afternoon, it'll be Eastern Stars Motorsports driver Connor LaFrance. You're going to have Ryan Dingler starting in the number 2 spot. Justin Krutov for HW Racing will start in 3rd. Rebel Racing's Sean Bounty will be in 4th. HW Racing's Brandon Kluge is 5th. Eastern Stars Motorsports driver Mark Brannigan Jr. is down in 6th, with their defending champion and All-American Motorsports driver Spencer Ray down in 7th. Colton Hopfer brings it up in the number 8 spot. Graham Peterson for Badger Racing will be down in the number 9 spot. Tyler Greneau out of New Jersey will be in the 10th place position, with Hunter Thrower for All-American Motorsports in 11th. The Up North Esports machine, Chase Swafford, will be starting in the number 12 position, with MWMF Motorsports' Maxwell Kroll starting 13th. It'll, of course, be Stefan Purcell, who will be starting at that number 14 spot, with Bandit Motorsports driver Sean Kaiser down at 15th. Johnny Cofield starts in 16th out of the Mid-South, with the Misfits driver Robert Peterson from the Beer League down in 17th. Also racing under the Badger Racing colors, Jacob Morales will be starting his race in 18th out of Texas, and that'll move us on down to the back rows of this field. Devin Pirog closes out the 19th place spot, with Noah Swafford for MWMF Motorsports down in 20th. Jacob Noyes will be starting at 21st, with Brett Rucker for MWMF in 22nd. B&H Racing's Justin Wilson starts 23rd, with Colby Capson 24th. Terrell Wheeler for LGR Motorsports is 25th. And closing out the field is Barry Morton, the Band Motorsports driver, started all the way back in 26th. So drivers just getting set to rumble out, and we are looking for this to be an intense drive all around, as everybody is going to be in for a very solid run here this afternoon. No interruptions, just 47 laps of hard-fought racing amidst 26 competitors to return us to racing action from the 1-week break. So the pack working itself up and around, and looking as though Terrell Wheeler already in pit road, and Terrell Wheeler's actually crashed before being able to even get to the green flag. So just like we saw at Darlington last night at the High Tide Racing League, a driver has spun himself and crashed before we even make it around, and he didn't even make it to the line on the pace lap. Just hooked that 43 Camaro around, nosed it big time into the pit wall. And he's not the only one, as Jacob Noyes now has gone off the racetrack in the midst of all of this as well, as he spun it out as well and got into the tire barriers. So you know this is going to be an exciting race when you've had two drivers that have crashed on just the first lap before we go to green flag racing. Haven't even made it around to lap 1 yet. Connor LaFrance will still be in control. Terrell Wheeler has towed his car to pit road. He is going to be starting this race now from the pits, if he starts this race at all. Pace car, meanwhile, pulls down into pit road, and that leaves it in the hands of the Valvoline number 7 Camaro. We are happy that you are joining us on a Tuesday night. We're back for the 1-week break as the OMSRL Cup Series ready to make its return at the Sonoma Raceway. Around to the start-finish stretch. Green flag's out. We are racing in Sonoma. Oh boy, Devin Pirog firing across the track and taking out Barrett Morton as he slid up and across the way. Oh, now we got more problems in the back as Colby Capps is spinning around. And he's not the only one. The 4 of Brett Rucker goes around. Battles on for second. As Dingler slips up, he'll drop all the way down to 4th. Side by side with Brandon Kluge into the S's. That's a very bold move for Dingler to try to hang that one out instead of trying to just get in line behind Kluge, but he's not willing to give that spot up to the HW Racing driver. As we work, whoa boy, one car, two cars off, and with the fastest corner of the racetrack, Sean Kaiser nosed it straight into the wall. Mark Brannigan Jr. has also gone around then at the hairpin. So it just keeps on piling up. Sean Kaiser went off into the background, and then this is what happened to Brannigan on the approach down to the final hairpin. Spencer Ray with the lunge. Tagged Brandon Clues, just locked up and got into the 98, and luckily nobody else hit him. Conor LaFrance still leads the way. We turn lap number 2 of 47. The number 7 car out in front. First battle for position, further behind. Chase Swafford bullying Johnny Cofield out wide. And now has to try to fend off Spencer Ray. Ray to his inside. As the Up North Esports number 18 tries to keep that 6 at bay. And Spencer Ray going to be dropping into quite a few positions. He is down 4 already. So your defending champion not having an ideal night. This could be the race that sees him really lose that points lead. You see Johnny Cofield going off in the background. Going around is Grant Peterson to the head of the field. So Grant Peterson will drop it off the final hairpin, spin it around, and he's not the only one. Jacob Noyes will spin it out into the infield. That asphalt patch right in the middle there, it can be so inviting. Saw behind, Maxwell Kroll almost looked to join him. Cofield off again into the grass. Although he'll get himself sorted. Meanwhile, Chase Swafford taking the off-track excursion, still trying to keep Spencer Ray at bay. Ray not able to make a run on Chase Swafford off the road. Colby Caps going around to the tail end of the field. So this number 5 car having another big slide up and over the hill and taking off into the grass. And just like that, you've got yourself first all the way down to 23rd, separated by about 30 seconds. In only 3 laps time, it has been a quick disintegration of this packed up field as everybody's struggling for grip around the California road course. Brannigan and Robert Peterson side by side through the final hairpin, and the Klondike Mustang going to fend him off from the outside lane. Meanwhile, Spencer Ray looking to get around Chase Swafford once again to the inside of turn 3. Swafford going to hang on for now. He's got the inside, and he will keep the inside. So Chase Swafford keeps Spencer Ray at bay. More side-by-side action. Colby Caps trying to get around Justin Wilson, and he'll do so. Not too much effort put in there as Caps able to make the move. Swafford getting up and around Tyler Grinnell, and this is how this one happened. The battle for 8th just licked the stamp center down the inside and stole the spot away. Battle for the lead is closing. Conor LaFrance trying to fend off Sean Boundy, who has really been pushing early on in this race. Boundy looking like he wants to make a run at that race lead up the road, but Conor LaFrance, not a driver that tends to yield often, if ever. Deeper in the pack. Oh, big crash! Spencer Ray! Huge hit into the fence, and that will put Ray down and out. Devastating hit there for your defending champion. And a monster of a lick. Take a ride on board. Just got loose coming down into turn number 1 here. And overcorrected with a huge snap of oversteer into the wall. So Spencer Ray is out of it early on. One of the hardest hits I think I've ever seen at this racetrack on iRacing. Deeper in the field, Brannigan recovering, lost ground after, of course, he had that spin on lap 1 in this same corner. He is now back up to 11, trying to battle for a top 10. Chase Swafford gets around Hunter Thrower. The All-American Motorsports Exalta Camaro drops down to 8th. Deeper in the field, Renault, Grant Peterson, side by side, and off the road as Cofield again hangs on. No real battle trains right now. At this point, you've only got little 2-3 car scraps throughout the field. And Conor LaFrance started to stretch his lead out once again. So Sean Boundy not able to keep touch. Justin Kruzoff and Ryan Dingler all nose to tail with the number 34. Another mini pack. Grant Peterson, Tyler Grinnell, Mark Brannigan Jr. working through the final sweeper before they dive into the hairpin. You see Brannigan look to the inside. Grinnell moves wide and Brannigan takes the spot. Even deeper in the field, drivers are still having some fun with it. Noah Swafford and Justin Wilson in a battle about 3/4 of a second apart. On board with Kruzoff as he tries to run down Sean Boundy. They're gaining speed though on Conor LaFrance up the road. Could the race for the lead be back on? But before that, Grant Peterson to the inside of Hunter Thrower, who looks to make the pass, but Thrower hangs on for now. Grant Peterson still has got that car on the bottom side of the racetrack, and Grant Peterson is through. Thrower slips up. That could let Brannigan through now. So Thrower losing 2 spots in as many corners. So with Hunter Thrower looking like he may have lost a lot of the momentum from the get-go, the battle for the lead continuing to close in as Sean Boundy brings the gap down within a second. Brett Rucker having a moment on the racetrack. This is all by himself on the approach. So I believe that'll be turn 7 down here. He just goes wide into the runoff and brings it to a near stop, potentially letting some lead lap traffic through. Oh, all of a sudden, Sean Boundy under fire from the number 46. The Falcon Racewraps machine having some troubles getting around Sean Boundy, but Boundy with a big slip up. And that will again cost this pack about half a second. Johnny Cofield has taken the toe to pit road. Here's why. Oh boy, huge hit into the wall. Massive lick for the Cofield Supply and Services machine, and that is going to be a quick race ender. Just got loose and couldn't recover. Hard hit into the wall. And then now second to go, Jacob Miralets fighting it out with Spencer Ray. And just dropping it himself on corner exit. Spins up the rear tires and around he goes. Oh, and Brett Rucker again off the road. And again, I think just trying to let through lead lap traffic here by remaining off of the racetrack. Finds a hole and gets that machine back rolling. We're already just a little ways away from being, in fact, we did just take over 10 laps into this race. This race absolutely flying by. And the field on a big spread all across the racetrack. And you see Grant Peterson opening up the door, and Mark Brannigan Jr. said, "Thank you very much. I'll take that one to the inside." While that's all going down, Baron Morton has found himself coming down and into pit road. Driver the number 9, Riley's Rose's Camaro is down and in. It looks like he's had some big hit damage to that left side of the car. He will get himself rolling. Oh, off the road now, Purcell going to recover. Here comes Boundy, Roytoff, Dingler. All under blank for second, third, and fourth. And as I say that, Robert Peterson looking like he's had a moment. And Brett Rucker off the racetrack again. Scott Maxwell Crow behind, just lost that all by himself and nosed it into the wall. Now did Robert Peterson do the same? Kroll coming onto the track in front, but that's not going to have a hand to say in this. Oh, he hopped the curb, and that car just never allowed itself to get settled before it spun round. Stephen Purcell, the next driver to come down to pit road. Oh man, Brett Rucker again is around. This number 4 cannot catch a break. Just loops the back end of the big league chute. Number 4 Camaro slides that thing out, and sooner or later he's going to have to call it quits. This track not agreeing with the MWMF Motorsports driver here this afternoon. Stephen Purcell leaving pit road, coming back onto the racetrack, fuel only for the Hollywood Video number 47. Battle for the number 2 spot remains strong. Sean Boundy, Justin Kruitov trying to make moves. Meanwhile, further behind, oh boy, Colby Capps under fire, and in fact overtaking Devin Pirog for 13th. So Capps up one, Pirog will drop down. Further up the road, Mark Brannigan Jr. and Grant Peterson are still nose to tail within half a second, and that gap is closing as well. Brannigan is super effective with that car in the first half of the lap. He's just faltering so much in the second half. That's where you see Grant Peterson starting to really reel him in, and it all starts right there. 3/10 alone and just turned 7. Meanwhile, driving down through the S of the now, through that long, sweeping left-hander. Grant Peterson just can't get close enough to make a lunge. Tyler Grinnell might be close enough, though, as he is getting right to the back of Hunter Thrower, looking for the inside. Does Thrower give it to him? No, he doesn't, and with that, Grinnell can't make the move. But he's probing. Top three getting close again. Sean Bounty, as we've seen time after time this race so far, closes to the back of Conor LaFrance, but is it enough to try and establish an offensive drive? The Valvoline ESM number 7 has been on rails all night so far, has not made too many mistakes. But Sean Bounty applying the pressure, trying to see if he can find a weakness. Chase Swafford under fire. Mark Brannigan Jr. taking that one around the long way through the sweeper. Oh, but look at this, a big crossover from Chase Swafford, trying to get him back on the right-hander, couldn't get it done, and there won't be a move made into the hairpin. That got tight for a hot minute, though. Maxwell Kroll having problems at the tail end of the field. Just downshifted too quick, got some of that wheel hop going, and around he went. One, two, and three, all looking to see who can get around each other. Sean Bounty still trying to close up to Conor LaFrance. Now lap traffic in the way. And Stefan Purcell off the road just in front as he spun it around. The top three getting around. Terrell Wheeler, or Terrell Wheeler. Wheeler didn't throw up too much of a fuss, so they will remain in lockstep. On board with the 46 as they continue to try to close to the tail end of Conor LaFrance, but LaFrance just not offering any sort of in. He's been doing a phenomenal job on guarding a lot of those weaknesses. Although Sean Bounty trying to go on the offensive as he saw LaFrance swinging wide. I think he's just found turn 7 as potential vulnerability to exploit later in the race, but he has got to get to the back bumper first before he can make a move. More lap traffic still getting in the way. Down the front stretch and in towards turn numbers 1 and 2. Next car of the row, Maxwell Kroll. And they're catching him at a pretty inopportune moment. Could this be where we see some more of those chinks in LaFrance's armor started to materialize? Oh boy, right to the tail end of that Lucky Charms Camaro. There goes Bounty lunging for the inside. Is it enough? Tries to stuff the nose in. LaFrance slams the door shut and keeps him out. Boy, there was an effort there. Bounty saw his opportunity, tried to go for it, but it was a little too soon. All of this struggling to get around lap traffic has allowed for one Ryan Dingler to start to close in slowly but surely with that GT Omega Camry at the tail end of the field. So we got ourselves a 4-car fight for the lead on our hands. LaFrance so far has led every lap of this race. Mark Brannigan Jr. makes the pass on Colton Hopner for 6th, and this is how he made that pass. Just going around the outside, easy overtake for the 98, and said, thank you very much, I'll see you later. In clean air, I do believe LaFrance is the quickest, but the problem is he's just not able to find too much of it right now. He's got a lot of anxious competitors behind him, and a lot of these drivers are really wanting to give him that lesson. If you make one mistake, we're going to be right there to capitalize. They cannot afford to let him breathe so far. Off looking to the inside, and in fact, Sean Bounty comes to pit road just shy of halfway, and the 34 is in. So he abandons the race for the lead. Might be looking to try to get on some fresh tires to try to undercut Conor LaFrance in the pit stops. Nobody else so far coming to pit road. Here's a big battle cluster. Tyler Grinnell trying to hang on. Oh! Thrower turns Grinnell around. Big crash. All three of them are off. Into the fence goes Sean Kaiser. The Camerota Truck Parts Camaro's involved. The Exalta Camaro's involved. And Tyler Grinnell, the DeWalt Mustang, right at the head of all of this. That's 2, and it'll be 3 that will be forced to come to pit road. I gotta be honest, I think that's all gotta be on Hunter Thrower right there. I mean, oh boy. I'll back this up just a tick more, but I mean, you take a look at this. I mean, there's not an opening there. Thrower went for it, and he didn't lift until they made contact, and boy, there's a couple of hard hits involved in that mess. Just turned Grinnell around, and look at Sean Kaiser here. Backwards, hard hit right into the tire stacks. So 3 cars now absolutely ruined as a result of that incident. Robert Peterson and Jacob Miralez nose to tail. All of a sudden, they're the only battle on the racetrack that's under a second. After all of that carnage kicks off. Well, as I say that, the 46 starts to catch the 7th, a little bit of late stint steam. Boy, Jacob Miralez really looking to try to get around Robert Peterson, just not allowing him to get in. Meanwhile, looking like Tyler Grinnell may have just had another off at that ever rapid right-hand king. Oh boy, yep, snap of oversteer into the wall. The good news is he actually found it early on. It was just able to kind of grind along it. Oh boy! Holy cow, the save from Grinnell. Take a look again. Look at how far sideways this car gets. Coming through the final quarter. Oh boy. You want to talk about a snap? That is a snap right there. Tyler Grinnell with the save of the race so far at one of the, if not the fastest points on the circuit. He's trying to get back around Maxwell Kroll. Kroll's not about to make it easy for him. Already out of the 26 that started this race, only 14 remain on the lead lap. Renault's looking. Does he go for the move? He does not. He'll back out. Conor LaFrance started to lose a bit of time. Back to Justin Krutzoff just behind. 46 Falcon race wraps Camry. Making good time on close to the back of Conor LaFrance. Still keeping him honest within a second. How about Sean Boundy lunging for the inside of Chase Swafford? Sean Boundy on fresh tires. And so far, one of the first drivers to come down to pit. Steaming back through the pack. He is now up to the 8th spot. Ryan Dingler loses a handful of time as he goes off the racetrack in the right-hand kink at the end of the 3rd sector. Jacob Noy still pulls it in on Miralez and still trying to make a run for another position on this field. 3-car battle currently picking up for 12. And these are the last cars on the lead lap, and there's your race leader right behind them. Whole battle pack condensing as they jockey for the optimal braking point. Miralez right to the tail end of Robert Peterson. Does Peterson have anything to try to fend off a charging 99 car behind? That Camry's been looking strong all day long in these midfield battles. He's up 5 positions. Your number 2 driver's in a pit road. And Miralez is through on Robert Peterson. One more time. Oh, he's off the track. Jacob Miralez throws that position away as he goes off piste, and Robert Peterson got loose. And both cars nearly going around, and then, well, he just overshot, went wide, drifted into the kitty litter, and that was the end of that. So Conor LaFrance out by himself by 6 seconds over Ryan Dingler, with a healthy hand of traffic between them both. 46 car, though, comes out right in front of Sean Boundy. We got a fight on our hands for 7th. I think Boundy's lost a good chunk of time with trying to come down to pit road early on, and now he finds himself mired in the midfield. Ryan Dingler will pit from the 2nd spot. So the remainder of the pit stop's about to kick off. And all of this as we reach the halfway point. Maxwell Kroll goes off the road. Rejoins, no problem. Sean Boundy will look into the inside of the 46, and he's going to take that one as Justin Krutov throws it wide. So Krutov goes out a little bit too hot. Sean Boundy will pick up that 6th spot, and he'll continue his charge to try to see if he can't overtake LaFrance through pit stops. They have both managed to get around Ryan Dingler. He locks up, and that gives the spot back to the 46. Conor LaFrance finally bites the bullet. He'll come down to pit road. So taking a look, there you see Sean Boundy working his way through the S's. This is right now the battle for the net race lead. Ryan Dingler nowhere to be found on this group. Brandon Kluge comes to pit road as well. Sean Bounty is entering the final hair pit. And oh boy, Carl LaFrance taking fuel only. No tires for LaFrance. He is going to try to go the distance on one set of tires. He is out miles ahead of Bounty and Kreutzhoff. That's a serious gamble, though, to try to pay off. Bear Morton did make the same call, as did Stefan Purcell. Justin Wilson off the track just as Carl LaFrance goes through. But again, a massive, massive risk for LaFrance to take fuel only. He has got to be putting a lot of faith in those tires that they're going to last him the distance of this race. There goes the 48 into pit road. Colton Hofner is in, and they're both trying to get around Grant Peterson. Grant Peterson, a driver that has not come down to pit road yet, so Peterson makes this easy to facilitate that pass. So the 34, the 46 remain close together. Out wide will go Maxwell Kroll again, just trying to let through a lot of this lead lap traffic, but I feel like a lot of this now, the strategy's been made. A lot of these drivers have made their beds. They'll have to lay in them. Last lap by, though, I just want to point out, Carl LaFrance lapped at a 1:31.8. We'll see what it's going to be this time by. I would not be surprised if this lap time was a good bit different. You see Mark Brannigan Jr. comes down to pit road, so LaFrance will re-inherit the race lead. So LaFrance this time by. What's the lap time? 1:17.9 for Sean Bounty. 1:17.5. Oh, sorry, no, actually dead even. So drivers matching each other. Looking as though Sean Bounty might have his work cut out for him. Could the fuel-only strategy play out in LaFrance's favor? Still a lot in this race that is yet to be decided, and we'll decide all of that, including who the winner tonight is going to be, when we return on Green Flag TV.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Green Flag TV. Green Flag Racing continuing on, and it is picking up around the Sonoma Raceway. Green Flag pit stops have been completed. This is a massive battle pack right now. It's got 4 drivers embroiled in it. Kroll, Peterson, Kaiser, and Ray all under a blanket and looking for 3 wide. Oh boy, Peterson's in too deep. He cleans out Brannigan, and all 3 of them go wide and into the barriers over at the turn 11 on the racetrack. A big hit, though, for Robert Peterson as all 3 of them get taken out. You can tell Robert Peterson realized the second he hit the brakes, that car was not stopping. Was locking it up way early, and just nothing he could have done. Nothing any of them could have done. Sit rep on your race leaders. It's been a developing situation for the last little while, and right now the big stories with Justin Krutov. He was closing in a good little while. He lost about a 10th and a third on the last lap. We'll see what the times are going to be this time by. But so far, Conde LaFrance doing an amazing job on measuring this gap. Although half a second gain could be trouble. Trying to see if he can lead every lap, save for the one that he came down to pit road on. Jacob Morella's having a problem. Oh dear. Out wide, and he has found the wall, but not too serious. Meanwhile, Terrell Wheeler having a duo of incidents. And in fact, make that a trio. He's just had another one, and he's just taken the tow to pit road. Oh boy, hopped the curb once and twice. So much that he flew it over the other way. And then out of the final hairpin, he had this moment coming to the towards the start-finish line. Nosed that one into the wall. And then as he was trying to get himself sorted, he lost it again and went even harder into the wall. And at that point, he called it quits. HW Race Machine, meanwhile, still in the battle with Sean Bounty, and looking like they're losing time to Conde LaFrance. That number 7 has found some momentum up the road, and he is really starting to pull a gap. Oh, and around goes Bounty. Sean Bounty drops it, and that's going to put him out of the fight for the win. Not at all what the 34 was gunning for, but it's a tough racetrack, and he can catch out the best. He'll lose touch to second, but the good news is still a good distance out in front of third. Of course, the big thing now is he cannot afford to make another big mistake like that. As we check in on the battle for the 10th place spot, want to give a quick reminder of what's coming up on Green Flag TV. Chase Swafford actually looking to get around Bear Mort. You might have to hold that thought. Well, can't get anything that time by. Race leaders right behind him as well, so blue flags will be waving. Morton back onto the track. Swafford goes evasive. He'll cut to the inside. LaFrance laps Morton. But again, coming up on Green Flag TV tomorrow night at 9:20 p.m. Eastern Time, it's the Champions Pick. The Road Atlanta circuit over in Braselton, Georgia, will play host to round number 3 of the Beer League. And there is going to be some pretty heavy rain, it looks like, coming into the end of that main event as well. So, could be a wet race at Road Atlanta. Haven't seen that there in a while, but you know it's going to be an entertaining race. On Thursday night, the Speed Cup Series swings out to the Richmond Raceway. It'll be the action track to play host of the 4th round of the Thursday Night Cup Series. And then on Sunday night, we're back with the OMSRL Next Gen Cup Series at the Rockingham Speedway. Scott Rankin and I will once again be bringing you all the action, and it should be a wild one. But the biggest event coming on up, you look no further than to the High Tide Racing League MF Racing Designs Cup Series. Their season finale after an extremely dramatic finish to the round of 8 will be up next at Homestead Miami Speedway, where 4 drivers enter the arena, and it'll be winner takes all. Sean Kaiser closing in on Devin Burog just in front of him. This is the fight for 13th on the racetrack with, well, 13 laps to go. LaFrance has lapped all the way up to the 9th spot right now. So these 2 cars, some of the first that are a lap down. Whoa, boy, Pirog steps the tail end out, and here comes Sean Kaiser trying to take advantage. Oh, he gets into him. Contact on the front straightaway, and Devin Pirog loses out to Sean Kaiser. An aggressive fight for 13th ends in some contact, but crucially nobody going around. And then just as we're looking at that, Colby Capps with this pass round the outside of Colton Hofner through the sweeper. Look at the move from Capps, the HendrickCars.com Camaro on a charge. Blitzes by Capps, and that puts him up 16 positions and into 8th. Spencer Ray's in the mix of this as well. Spencer Ray, this track has not been his style so far all night long. And the driver that is usually so in control of these races, finding himself on the back foot and almost guaranteed to lose the points lead. Look at the inside of Pirog again, and he, I say easy overtake. He locks up and goes into the side of Pirog. Pirog forced wide. And Spencer Ray overshot his braking marker. Even further down the field, the fight for 17th. Headed up by Robert Peterson. You're on board with Stefan Purcell. You hear those tires slipping as he tries to get on the throttle, and you can visually see that car twitching, struggling to get on the power, and that is going to cost him dearly. Jacob Noyes with an off. Top of the hill, he's just going to loop the tail end, it looks like there. Well, gets a little bit into the grass, and, well, let's Chase Swafford through because Noyes is, of course, a couple laps down, so he'll let some drivers through before getting that ship righted again. Under 10 laps to go at the Sonoma Raceway. Been a good drive so far. Jacob Noyes off the road again. But he'll quick to get himself back onto the racetrack. Several battles still yet to be decided among them. Colby Capps, Colton Hopner. 8th and 9th going at it. And then, yep, behind them, you got Sean Kaiser and Spencer Ray as well. Right now, it's a battle of momentum as Sean Kaiser and Spencer Ray both trying to see who will be the one to outmatch the other. Spencer Ray's got to really try to figure out Kaiser's driving style, figure out where he's weak, and then try to maximum his runs through that section of racetrack to pounce on the Camberota Truck Parts Camaro. Spencer Ray looking like he might be a bit better in the first half of the lap here. In some of these slower, more undulating sections of racetrack. This could be the place where he wants to try to make a move, especially now that he's got some lap traffic. That'll play heavily into his favor here. Well, I say that, the lap traffic goes wide, and Spencer Ray dives to the inside to let a lead lap car, Mark Brannigan Jr., through. Maxwell Kroll having problems, as had Noah Swafford. So this is Kroll. The lap car that Kaiser was just getting around goes in deep and just brings it to a lazy stop. Meanwhile, Noah Swafford going off track at the top of the hill. A little whoopsie-daisy, but he's able to get it back onto the racetrack with no problems. And now Chase Swafford off the road. He spins up the rears and spins it off into the dirt. Simply gets that car back onto the racetrack, and we're smooth sailing. Noah Swafford now off the road. Robert Peterson and Stefan Purcell looking to see who can come out in a grudge match for the 17th spot. Half a second between them. Oh boy, and Jacob Mireles has had another problem somewhere on the racetrack up the road. And has he caught too much curb? Yeah, but this time on the exit. And he's gone into the wall. So Mireles has crashed, and then Jacob Noyes has had problems of his own. He's right behind Chase Swafford. Not in a battle for position, this. And just as we've seen so many times, spins up the rears. And that's all she wrote. Conor LaFrance still leading the way. Coming to 6 laps to go. And not too many battles left on the racetrack. So far, only one battle left on the racetrack that's within a second of each other, and it's been this one that's been very much ebbing and flowing. Robert Peterson to Stefan Purcell. Still looking to see who will win in the fight for 17th, and looking like as though Maxwell Kroll's had another off. He's gone into the grass and got himself back onto the sweeper without any issues. But Purcell tends to lose a lot of the momentum when he gets right to the tail end of Robert Peterson. He just gets over-aggressive and chasing right there. I mean, again, target fixation. Peterson locked up. That could have been a chance for Purcell to attack, but he made the same mistake and only loses time. Coming up in the following weeks on Green Flag TV, before our next break, we'll, of course, first swing out to America's home for motorsports next week at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. That'll be followed up by a trip to Michigan International Speedway, Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We'll play host of round number 8. And after our trip to Sin City, we'll take a 1-week break before returning to Darlington to kick off September. And that'll see us right through to the final 3 races at Talladega and North Wilkesboro before we reset things for the playoffs. Four to go, this time by. Conor LaFrance in control, continuing to drive away for the 46 behind. He has shown absolutely no slip-ups all race long. This car has been on fire. Started this race from pole, was one of the fastest cars in practice. Definitely has set one of the fastest laps of the race. Not the fastest, that would go right now to Sean Boundy, but about half a second off of it. And man, he is looking like he is ready to call it a day already, even though this race still got a good bit of gusto left in it, as evidenced by this fight between Sean Kaiser and Spencer Ray for 13th. Spencer Ray still on the hunt. Can he be the one to close in to finally get around Sean Kaiser? He's been trying for about the last 10-15 laps. Just hasn't been able to get the nose in there, but boy, he has been giving it everything to go for it as best as he can. Still within 0.6 of a second, and Spencer Ray still seeking to close this gap down to Sean Kaiser, no matter how much it takes. But he slips a bit wide, coming through the right-hand sweeper. And on the setup of the hairpin, that could have cost him a chance at going for the move, as they'll swing around and take 3 to go. Gap down to just half a second now between the Bandit Motorsports and the All-American Motorsports drivers. Spencer Ray definitely looking to recover any points he can get so he can maintain that big points lead. It was up by 21 entering today. It's a guarantee that it's going to shrink. Right now, the only question is by how much. Spencer Ray absolutely tanked it into the wall, and Sean Kaiser will tank it into the wall. So Kaiser into the fence, and that'll give the run to Spencer Ray. But as I was saying, this 13 car was down in pit road earlier this afternoon after he absolutely walloped the wall in turn 1 just a couple laps into the race. He had to take the tow, went down a lap, and since then he has battled his way back and has fought all the way from 25th up to 13th. It's been a strong recovery drive for Spencer Ray. He is just looking to mitigate damage right now. Maxwell Crow once again letting more drivers through, while Connor LaFrance getting set to see if it'll be the white flag this time by for that Valvoline Camaro. Chase Swafford having another moment, and this one coming down the hill into turn, I believe this to be turn 4 according to the track map, but I heavily disagree with that. And he has found the wall with the right front. Working the final lap for Connor LaFrance. No battles on the racetrack and nobody that is able to stop that 7 car. Connor LaFrance qualified on pole position for this race, and he has led practically every single lap to get here, just about. Terrell Wheeler off and into the grass one more time, not wanting to get in his way. One corner to manage for LaFrance, and then he'll have done it. Connor LaFrance comes through the final turn. It is domination as LaFrance takes his first race win of the OMSRL Cup Series of the 2024 campaign. He will become the 5th different race winner in as many races. Chase Swafford tried to fend off Tyler Grinnell, but Grinnell closing the distance. Last lap battle for the 11th place spot. Swafford gets a little loose. Grinnell's going to have to give it the beans here, down and towards the final turn at 11. Swafford hugging the inside tires, and Grinnell, whoa, he might get there now. Swafford slips up, Grinnell closing, but he's not closing quick enough. Chase Swafford hangs on for the 11th place. And behind Brandon on the last battle of the racetrack, fends off Brandon Kluge to finish in the top 5. Meanwhile, Connor LaFrance out of Burlington, Vermont, he's going to be able to have himself with a very fun night after this one. Being able to come home and take a race win. You see Sean Boundy pacing alongside him. So 5 different race winners in the season so far. Teft, Boundy, Kaiser, Ray, and now LaFrance is among them. He is also the 3rd different pole sitter, with Sean Boundy starting pole in the first 2 races and Spencer Ray the 2 after. Trent says LaFrance looking to a pole position next week. And well, LaFrance can set the vineyards alight. as he will look to burn it down on the front straightaway at the Sonoma Raceway. A wild evening then of racing here this afternoon on what was a phenomenal drive from the Sonoma Raceway. Let's take a rundown of your official post-race results exiting race in action here this afternoon. Conor LaFrance takes home the race win, becoming the 5th different winner of the series. Justin Kreutzhoff will be down at the number 2 spot with Sean Bounty in 3rd. We'll talk to all of them in a moment. Ryan Dingler in 4th. Mark Brannigan Jr. down in the number 5 spot. Brandon Kluge will be in 6th. Grant Peterson 7th. Colby Capps 8th. Holfner was 9th. And Baron Morton rounds out the top 10. From there, still one lap down, Chase Swafford, Tyler Grinnell, Spencer Ray, Devin Purog, and Jacob Mireles. And then finishing 2 laps down, it was Robert Peterson with Stefan Purcell, Sean Kaiser. Justin Wilson finishes this race 4 laps down, with Kaiser finishing 3 down. 6 down was Kroll and Noyes. That was Swafford was 10 down. Terrell Wheeler was 12 down, with Hunter Thrower, Brett Rucker, and Johnny Cofield all marked as DNFs this afternoon. So all racers across the line, and with that, we'll get the chance to talk to the racers that come home on the top steps of the podium here this afternoon, and we're going to be looking to kick it off first and foremost with none other than the driver himself, Conor LaFrance, that comes home to take the race win this afternoon. If we can track him down, and well, there he is. He was hiding for a minute, but we're going to bring Conor LaFrance up here to give him a chit chat here after that absolutely incredible race this afternoon. Conor, nothing short of domination today. You're the 5th different winner in as many races for the season. Kind of walk us through your dominating performance this afternoon.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, the teammates were saying to not take tires during this, so I was easy on the tires at first, so I didn't want to rip them up. And then after that, I was just pacing. And then I was making sure no one was passing me.
But you were able to hold on to that gap very handily. You still walked away with it with 5 seconds of this one, finishing the race on the same tires you started on. I was going to ask that. At what point did you really commit to taking the tires only, the fuel only strategy, instead of taking tires like just what everybody else in the field did?
Yeah, it's been like that for I think maybe like a couple years now for like road courses. Tires don't wear, just heat helps tires, so all you do is just take fuel. So.
And while we look forward to the next race that'll be coming on up for us at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, so far pole sitters have been trading off in 2s, and well, you took your first pole this afternoon, so pole position, will we be seeing you there in Concord?
I hope so.
Sounds like a plan. We'll see you then at down to the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Congratulations on taking your first win of the season. We'll see if you'll be able to double it up next week at America's Home for Motorsports. Conor LaFrance comes home with the race win for the Eastern Stars Motorsports Valvoline Camaro. And a beautiful drive for him at that. We're going to get the chance to speak to the driver that comes home in the number 2 spot is Justin, and you can correct me now if I'm completely wrong. Justin Kreutzhoff, I believe it is, coming up here for HW Racing in the number 2 spot. But tell you what, the first podium for you that we've seen, and this should be a good finish for you here this afternoon.
Well, it's crewed off, but hey, we'll take anything we can get.
Crewed off, sorry.
Not a problem. Yeah, we kind of had this race circled. I got a lot of road experience, so we were expecting to run good here and put in a good bit of practice for it. So it's nice for that to pay off.
You certainly put in a lot of work, and you mentioned all of that work paying off. You were in quite the battle there with Sean Boundy all the way from before the pit stops to afterwards until Boundy ended up spinning himself out. Kind of talk us through having to be embroiled in such a fierce fight for so long.
Yeah, he definitely kept me honest. I saw him pit early because I thought he was burning his tires up. He pitted earlier, and I came out of my pit, and he was right on my bumper again, and I was like, oh, boy, here we go. So it was a lot of fun, but it was very tough to hold him off.
looking towards the rest of the season, of course, you mentioned you having a lot of road course experience. That definitely helped you out today. But with this being the only road course race of the season, do you reckon that experience could help you at any of the other tracks you've got left on the schedule?
Yeah, we'll see. See what the season holds. There's a lot of super speedways or 2-milers coming up, so that's a bit different. But we'll just take it one race at a time and see what happens.
Well, sounds like a plan. We'll get set to see you then when we return to the Charlotte Motor Speedway a week from today. Congratulations on second place. We'll see if you'll be on the top step 7 days from today.
Thank you.
Justin Kruthoff coming home, and he's going to be able to take home the podium position here for the number 2 spot this afternoon. And that just brings us down to the third and final driver, Sean Boundy. Sean, you were in a hell of a battle there with Justin Kruthoff all throughout, and it's just a shame it had to close out the way it did, but a podium finish, still not a bad result after all the attrition we saw this afternoon. Talk us through the 47-lap run.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. I haven't been home for over a week up until like 30 minutes before the server kicked in, and I had no practice, no idea what the fuel was going to be. I had no idea what the tires were going to be like, and I feel like that was the biggest problem. I had no information on tires, and I was battling with Connor there and felt like I could take the lead. There was a couple places where if I just stepped on the gas, I could go, but I was kind of being a little bit more conservative. And it's just when you're half a tenth speed difference, it's really hard to pass at a place like this without making a mistake. So I just kind of fell in line for a while and just followed him and decided maybe I'll pit early, get a couple laps in with fresher tires. I thought for sure that everybody was going to take tires, and that was the one of the two big issues. One, I screwed up trying to get the pole, and whoever got it was gonna basically control the race. And the other one was just I had no notes and no information on tires. And I think right around the time that I pitted, I thought no tires was probably gonna be the call of the race, and I was just a little too unsure about it. So played it safe because I saw the gap that we had, the 3 of us had with the rest of the field, and thought, even if it was the wrong call, it was still a safe call. Spinning out was just kind of a slight desperation. There's a good place in that corner that I spun out at. If you can just get that right rear up on the curb, you could really rotate the car and get a nice launch off of it. And again, I saw the gap behind me, and I'm like, either I'm going to spin out or I'm going to go forward. And I tried it, and yeah, I lost it there, and just maintained for the rest of the race. But yeah, we had a lot of speed. I felt like I might have been faster than Connor. Justin was faster than me, and it was just all about how we organized outside of either making mistakes or just where we ended up on the pit cycle, and not taking tires was just the way to go.
We look forward to Concord, North Carolina. Charlotte Motor Speedway, I know it's a track you're very familiar with. Shares the same shape to Texas, drives nowhere even close to the same, though. What's going to be the game plan for Charlotte?
Well, there it's like Texas in many ways. It's going to come down to tire wear, tire conservation. Some years it's really aggressive, and others it's it lasts for quite a while. So I need to go there and take some notes on some tire wear and just see where we end up. So I'm looking forward to it, definitely.
Well, we'll wish you the best of luck when we go out to Concord, North Carolina. Congratulations on the third place finish tonight, and glad it sounds like you're feeling better as well.
I am quite a bit better. We're not out of the woods, but thank you very much.
Sean Boundy comes home, third place finisher this afternoon from Sonoma Raceway. And well, with that is going to be it for us here this afternoon. A wild race that we had at the Sonoma Raceway. There's still a lot more to come as well. The Charlotte Motor Speedway will be the hunting ground for the OMSRL Cup Series when we return 7 days from today. Before that, though, we will, of course, have the Beer League with their third race at Brazelton, Georgia, over in Road Atlanta on Thursday night. It's the action track finally coming back to Green Flag TV for the Richmond Raceway, where we'll see the Speed Cup Series go to war. And then, of course, the OMSRL Next Gen Cup Series will be out on Sunday night with yet another race at the Rockingham Raceway. And then, of course, it all comes to a close. The High Tide Race League MF Racing Designs Cup Series on Monday night. One race to go for the final four down at Homestead Miami Speedway. If you want to find out more about who we are and what we can offer you, check us out today at www.greenflagtv.com. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. My name has been Nolan Rambo, bringing you all of racing action from the OMSRL Cup Series. We'll see you next week in Concord, North Carolina.